Hello, and welcome to the notes for this school year. First set, woot woot. For those of you who have had me in the past, I really hope you like this year's notes because this year I will upgrade a little bit. I love Beyonce. So this year I'm going to kind of do notes a little bit differently. I'm going to pre-record me doing the notes, and I'm going to do a video of myself commentating over them, just because I know it's a lot different nowadays, obviously. And I want you guys to be able to see my face and see me talking as well as doing the notes. So I'm going to kind of comment over it like I'm an ESPN announcer for sports. And there's Jacko taking a nap for those of you who missed Jacko. So make sure when you're doing your notes, if you have a printer at home, if you go to the Schoology page, you can print out the notes that I have for you, or you can also click that link, open it up, and just copy those notes down on a piece of paper so that you then can go in turn and have them all copied out, so you just have to fill it in so you can still stay with me, still have this reference for you throughout the year. Sorry I'm outside. I really like being outside. I'm outside all the time working on my computer. I just prefer it, so I apologize for the cars in the background. But let's get into the first set of notes. Alrighty, so here are the notes. So again, we're just reviewing perfect squares and square roots. So first off, what are square roots? They are when you take a number and you square it, or you take it times itself. So we're writing out, it's when you take a number times or multiply it by itself. So for example, if I were to do 1 squared, that little small 2 up top, that's called a squared. If I were to do 1 squared, that's the same thing as 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. Let me back that up real quick. 1 squared, this little 2 right there, that's what makes it a square, because I take it times itself. 1 squared is the same thing as 1 times 1, which is equal then to 1. If I do 3 squared, that's 3 times 3. What is 3 squared? 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And then, what's the next one I did? 13 squared. 13 times 13 is 169. All of these numbers you will need to either have memorized, or you're going to need to be able to do the math. You're going to have to be able to multiply these numbers together to get your answer. So I made this quick chart like we did last year for you guys to help you memorize them, or to make sure that if you are multiplying it out, you can go back and check it to make sure you did it right. So if we come look over here, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64. Let's say I get to 9 squared and I don't remember what 9 times 9 is. One method that we can use instead of multiplying it out is that repeated addition, because that's all multiplication is. So I'm going to take 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 9 times to figure out what 9 times 9 is. So as you see here, I know 9 plus 9 is 18. So I paired off those 9s to make 18. Then I've got that one guy left over. I can't leave him by himself. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add my 18s. I know 18 plus 18 is 36. So I made 2 pairs there of 36. And again, I can't forget I got to add that 9 at the end. And then add 36 plus 36, which is 72. And again, I got to add that 9 back. Can't forget about that. 72 plus 9 then is 81. So I know 9 times 9 is 81. If you don't like to multiply, do that repeated addition. That is totally fine with me. I don't have any issues with you doing that there. 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared, we already did that, is 169. Maybe I forgot 14 times 14. And I would want to multiply it out there that traditional way. If you do not like the traditional way, there's also videos on Schoology for you to watch of the lattice method and the area method, as well as the repeated addition and the traditional method is multiplying as well. Because again, you have to have all these numbers memorized, or you need to be able to multiply them out. So then we have 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361, and 400. You only have to have memorized up to that 400, up to 20 squared. Yeah. If you got questions, as always, message me. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Pause the video, go through, and add anything else that you need to add. I'm going to erase my markings and keep going. Now we're going to go down to the square roots. What are square roots? A square root is when you undo a square. A square root is undoing a square. It's the opposite of squaring a number. So instead of me thinking, what is 3 times 3? I need to think to myself, if I have this one number, what times itself is going to give me that number? So if I'm looking for the square root of, what number did I do? The square root of 64, I want to think to myself, what number times itself is going to give me that 64? What number times itself is going to give me 64? And it has to be the same number. It has to be the same number. Because yes, I can do 4 times 16, but those aren't the same numbers. They must be the same. I know that 8 times 8 is 64. So the square root of 64 is equal to 8. Again, the way that we say this right here, that is the square root of 64 is equal to 8. The square root of 64 is equal to 8. Let's do another one. The square root of 100. So again, I'm going to think to myself, what number times itself is going to give me 100? Yes, 20 times 5 is 100, but it's not the same number. It's got to be the same number both times. So what number times itself gives me 100? 10. So the square root of 100 is 10. Go ahead, pause the video, and see if you can get all those numbers written out for me. Pause the video, see if you can do all those perfect squares for me. And if not, go backwards. If you don't know what 8 is the square root of, take 8 times 8, and that'll be your number. So go ahead, pause the video, fill it all out, and then play it once you're done. Do, 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 do. Alrighty, go through, check, make sure they're right. I definitely messed up on 16 and wrote the wrong number, but I fixed it. We're good. Fix yours if you have any that you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and go on to the next section down at the bottom, where we're talking about story problems that you might see with perfect squares and square roots. Oh, hang on. I got to erase. All right, there we go. All right, so squares and area. So again, if you forgot, the way that you find the area of a square is you take the side length times the side length. So we're going to go ahead and get that written in. The side times the side is going to give me the area of the square. So the side length, let's say for instance that it's 6. Both sides of my square are 6 feet. So for me to figure out the area, the inside of the square, how much would go there, I would have to multiply 6 times 6, my side times my side, to figure out the whole area. What is 6 times 6? 36. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit because we're ahead of the game. So again, like you told me, I multiply my sides together, 6 times 6, that's 36 square feet for my area. And that's the same problem that we see right there. If the area of a square table is 36 square feet, how long is one side of the table? So when you're doing a problem like this and they give you the area, remember the area is on the inside of your shape. So you want to label that 36, and then we think to ourselves, what would the sides be? That's got to be the same number both times. So I need to think to myself, 36 is what number times itself? And like we just talked about, it's going to be 6. So that means that one side of my table is going to be 6 feet long. You can also think of that as what is the square root of 36? And you can get 6 feet if you have one well memorized like that too. That works. Either way, doesn't bother me. Next question. It says, if the side length of your square bedroom is 14 feet, how much carpet would you need to redo your room? So this square is like we're looking down on our room. All of that stuff on the inside of my room, I want to put new carpet. I need to know how much carpet I need. It tells me that the side length of the square bedroom is 14 feet. So I'm going to put the 14s on the sides of the room, not in the middle. It's not area. The sides are 14. How much carpet, how much area would we need for that inside part? So to do that, that's back to those perfect squares. I got to take 14 times 14. And if you look at it on your chart, you can see 14 times 14 is 196. And again, if you don't have it memorized, you're going to have to multiply it out. 14 times 14 to get 196 square feet for your area. I hope this video was a quick review for you. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please send me a message on Schoology. Good luck!